All right, we got a lot to show you today about how this awesome system works for growing your own food. We're going to talk about some problems you might have. We made some new adapters for kombucha bottles. We'll show you how to make one of these microgreen growers without my adapter and totally plastic free. We've got a lot of experiments going on with more natural hydroponics, cutting out a lot of the plastics, and hopefully down the road it'll be a more natural way to grow food that's a lot easier on your back and your wallet than a traditional garden. So as we experiment with all this, I love sharing it with y'all. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is growing some of these microgreens into bigger plants. We're going to do that with mason jars. Now I found some at the Dollar General for $12 a case. It's pretty good, $1 a jar. Now you're going to see me putting these tops on there, and the only reason is I had a bunch of these small net cups that don't fit in it. Now I could print a bunch of mine up, but I want to use what I got. Now when I was printing up these self-watering adapters, it took me about 12 tries to get it the way I wanted. So I had a lot of the initial experiments and mistakes just sitting around, and I don't like to waste things. They fit on a mason jar, so I just drilled a 2-inch hole in the top of those, and that's what I'm going to use. So this is just a basic cracky system. With the things growing in the clay pebbles, they come out really easy. There's no soil to mess with. And I just put a little bit of hydrogen in a net cup with the plants, pop them in the top. Now this is our ladder system. We've got some black fabric on it. You guys saw that in another video. And I just pulled it up over the front. Maybe cut down on a little of the algae. But we'll see how that goes. Now, the kombucha bottles. This is Synergy and Publix brand. Now a lot of bottles have standard tops on them. And I found out that these two were interchangeable. So if you drink any of these, even some of the other brands might have the same tops. So I made these two adapters. I made this first one, the small one, and that worked okay. Holds up the bottle, it's nice and sturdy, so that'll work just fine. And even though it fits on the 32-ounce bottle, it's top heavy and it wants to flip over easy. So I made this one. The legs are a whole lot bigger, makes it a whole lot more stable. Now I don't plan on putting these in my shop unless some of y'all really need it. But I'm going to put the file up on Thingiverse so you guys can print your own if you want. If anyone needs me to print some of these, go ahead and message me. We'll work something out. But this is how I set up this microgreen grower. So you have a little bit of water in the bottom. Flip these upside down. And it'll come to its own level. When it gets up to where the hole's at, no more water will come out. Then you have a self-watering system. So basically this works just like a hummingbird feeder or your pet water bowls, the self-watering ones. And you'll be able to grow microgreens, set it and forget it. Now this is great because it keeps it at a certain level. You can see the water's up here, it's not going anywhere. And as the water evaporates out of the bottom, some more of this drips down. And it keeps water at a constant level. And your plants like that. Instead of constantly being refilled at different levels, it keeps one constant level. So your plants use the water, it drains down, it stays at a constant level. Your microgreens grow 7 to 14 days. It's just set it and forget it. Come back and harvest when you need it. Now I went through here and I was harvesting a whole lot of these. And something else crossed my mind that's really important that I think we should talk about. See, this watering system works really well, but you can run into problems. This is really what you want. You can tell these plants look really nice. There's no mold or mildew. You can pull the roots out. You have nice white roots. That's what you want. The plants all look very nice. Now this is because there's a dry layer up on top. This is some cabbage. It's planted a little more densely, but you can still see everything looks really good in there. Now if something like this happens, you don't want to eat that. You don't want to harvest it. This is from being really damp and packed in too tight. I had them over here too close to each other, so you want to spread them out. See the back wall here? I put plastic up that I didn't have before. Besides that, my dryer vent comes out there. So this was kind of like a sauna in the back, and when the dryer wasn't running, there was no air movement. So they're packed in really dense, it was really humid, and it caused one of them to damp off. So move that one away, spread them out. So the system works good, but you still don't want to pack your plants all in too tight. You want to get a little bit of airflow. As long as you have that airflow, you can see the water level here stays constant. Right down here it stays wet, and then up above you can see the dry stones. So that's what you want. You want your container to be deep enough so that you can have these two areas. That way the top will remain dry. Like this one's a little too shallow. All of those rocks stay wet. So I'm experimenting with a bunch of different ones. This one's turning out to be a really good one. You can see the top's dry. The level staying about here. So that's what you want. Now if you want to make your own without one of my adapters, you can get a container. This one's a little small. I would get one a little bigger, but this is what I had, so I'm just putting some hydroton in here and getting a glass bottle, and you can use any one that you want, something that fit in your container. Fill it up with water. Carefully set it in because you don't want to break the glass. And then hold it at whatever level you want the bottle to be, and then fill it up. Have some hydroton. We're just going to dump these in. You can go ahead and soak these if you want before you put them in. I don't bother. And then pack it in until it's all the way up, and it'll hold that bottle in place. And there you can see the two zones. The water staying level on the bottom, and you have a dry area up on top. Now if you didn't pre-soak your clay pebbles, just spritz them with a little water like this. So get it nice and damp for your seeds to germinate. Put your seeds on. Spritz them a little more. And then just set them away. I'm going to go ahead and use some foil that I've been reusing over and over. Put it on the top, and that's about it. We're going to come back in about 2 or 3 days, uncover it, let everything grow. So that's what we've got going on. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Links to the adapter will be down in the description if you need any. These are made out of PLA, polylactic acid, plant-based. And we're having an awesome time trying to find a more natural way to do hydroponics so that everyone can grow food cheap and easy. Till next time, live to inspire, keep on growing, be the change.